Hey, is everybody out there? Hello. Hello, everybody. Are you out there? Are you out there in TV land, in radio land? I think we got everything going here this morning. I think we do. And look where I am. I'm back in the studio, of course. You know why? Because this crazy, wacky weather has subsided and it's a beautiful, clear, sunny day. Cold out there, but still very, very, very nice. So look at we got a little bit early today. I got an early jump on the show today. I'm in here just sitting. So I'm gonna get going, man. Thanks for the warning, Gary Wilkins. He told me that the sidewalks out here are crap and everything's slippery. So watch it that I don't fall. Thanks for protecting an old guy, Gary. I appreciate it. Believe me, these reports come in. And you know what? If I ever get a fine from the city for not shoveling my sidewalk, I mean, really, you cannot even believe. And they got plows that do this. They got plows that are supposed to be doing the streets and the sidewalks. They got salt. Look at, they're giving me agita big time, these people. When they're going to fine us for not shoveling our sidewalks. Yeah, right. Okay, sure. Why not, right? Like Tony Baldinelli said, Counselor Baldinelli, clean up your own backyard before you start finding people. How about that? Anyway, my name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice. I mean, I'm sure you know that by now. Who the hell I am, anyway. And I'm in 4680Q. I'm in the studio today, looking out of the window at this beautiful, bright, sunny day. You get snow blindness out there. The meteor crater's white, and the roads are brown, of course, from the salt and sand, and a little bit of white because they haven't been plowed very good, to be honest with you. But at least our street got plowed this time. Usually we don't even get plowed we've only been plowed like twice all year. And then there was one more time here where they dumped a wad in my driveway yesterday morning. And I was up at 5:30 in the morning to help shovel it out, of course, because Liz has got to go to work. So I'm out there shoveling at 5:30, 5:45 in the morning. Got that done. And then went in and I said, that's it for me. Then I looked out my neighbor. He's got a pile in front of his house. And he's just standing there looking at it. And I'm going, hey, I'll come out and help you. Don't worry. I'm going to come out and help you. Let me do my show because I did my show from the Video Side Incorporated studio yesterday. I'll help you right after you get my show done. Okay. So I went in and it was just, I grabbed the snowblower. I mean, I shoveled mine by hand, but I grabbed the snowblower because I wasn't doing all that by hand. He couldn't do it. So I used the snowblower. Thank you, Kevin Mancuso Chopper. He donated the snowblower to me many years ago. He's got a condo, so he don't need it. And I don't use it often. I like to shovel. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that. That's why I like to shovel. But at the end of the day, you know what? Sometimes it's just heart attack. It's a heart attack waiting to happen. So I got the snowblower and cleaned it all up. It looks nice now. Everything's nice and clear. As long as the plow don't come by and do some more damage. And of course, they filled in the sidewalk. I went right down the sidewalk with the snowblower, cleaned the path, even through the muck and mire of my neighbor, which is a rental property. So a lot of times they don't do it. Went down right to their driveway, came back down the road. I had a nice path down there, looking beautiful, everything good. Here comes the plow, all filled in. Second time I couldn't do it for the guy. My snowblower was hitting chunks of ice. I'm going, it's going to screw it up. So I just did as much as I could of mine and finished it off with a shovel. And yeah, that's the city stuff. You know, they never put back the nice light snow that Mother Nature brought. It never happens that way. It's always these big, heavy hunks and chunks of stuff. And it screws you right up. Screws you right up. Hard to deal with, hard to shovel. You know, you're going to break your snowblower if you try to snowblow it. I'm lucky I got through it. At least till I had about 4 feet to go, and I just said, that's enough. I backed out and called it a day. But yeah, how are they going to handle that when they start finding people? I mean, you know, why do I have to shovel in the first place? And number two, when I do shovel, why do I have to redo it because the city fills it in? That doesn't seem right to me. Listen, I just saw a thing on TV their video that was really good. It's a snow plow that comes down, but it's got a snowblower, a giant friggin' snowblower on the front. and it comes down the street and it just blows everything off the road into people's driveways and crap, or ahead of it at least. And yeah, they get rid of it that way. No plowing, so you don't have to worry about this crap going in your thing. They blow it right over the driveway and the sidewalk, right in your front lawn. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, I don't know what they're going to do. 2026 is when this new rule's coming in. They're going to warn everybody next year. They start warning people, and then it's fine city. Yeah, right. Oh, I was gonna do viewer comments. There wasn't too many viewer comments. There was one viewer comment about the show on Thursday where I said that somebody told me that Lou Vescio was the campaign manager for Ruth Ann Newesteg. Now, somebody else said they heard he wasn't. So I don't know which one it is. I got it from a really, really good source that he was. This guy's right on with everything he tells me. So I don't know. Maybe it isn't. But for now, that's it. But it's good to know if he is, considering he's also working for the University of Niagara Falls, working for the for the Innovation Hub, and also Jim Diodati's campaign manager. Interesting, he took over Ruth Ann's campaign. And interesting stuff, how this stuff gets spread around to a certain few people. If he is, I don't know. I don't know if he is or not. So, take that for what it is. It's somebody who told me, and that's it. So, at Penny Brookify gave me a comment, and there'll probably be more comments. I think people have been pretty tied up with the weather in the last few days, so maybe that's why I didn't get a comment. But I'm sure I'm going to get more. But the one comment was pretty neat. Where do these speed camera fines go? Can the region use these fines to decrease our tax levy, please? Okay, well, we were talking about speed cameras and how much money they raise. Like, they're raising big money, man. This is a big, big money scoop at the end of the day. But where does the money go? Well, from what I read, millions of dollars from speed cameras really don't know where they go. From what I can find out, the money goes to pay the ASC program, Automated Speed Enforcement Program. So there's another company called Redflex Traffic Systems that run them. And then we have to pay them to run them and issue the tickets and everything. And then anything over and above we make that, then we pay them, we get to keep. So it goes to pay the Automated Speed Enforcement Program, and we get to keep whatever's left over. And Redflex Traffic Systems are responsible for the cost of replacing broken equipment, which means they're making a lot of money because there's a lot of broken. The Blade Runner's cutting them down every other day, and there's other spray painting the lenses and breaking them and everything else. So it appears that whatever's left over goes to the region. I would say it doesn't cost us around $20 million a year to run them. So anything over and above the cost, we pay probably a monthly. I would say we pay a monthly to this company to deal with them, and the rest is ours. So I don't know what the expenses are or what we're paying this Redflex, but anything over and above we get to keep. I don't know where they're putting the money. I would say it's probably going, I don't know, maybe into the police budget where we don't know. That's a good question for Kim Crater. Maybe I'll give Kim a call and ask him and get a better answer for you. Or maybe he's listening and he'll even give me a message telling me. Who knows? So on Facebook is always fun. I watch Facebook like crazy, right? There's a huge battle brewing between the fans of incumbent Wayne Gates and the upstart Ruth Ann Newesteg. And we're seeing both sides of it. They're going at it on Facebook. And I'm kind of laughing at it, the whole thing, really. Of course, Gates is the experienced incumbent. And even though his record at getting anything done without his party in power is dismal. He really hasn't done a lot in his 11 years that he's been um, MPP. But the one thing he does is he knows the ropes. I don't think he'll ever be a Peter Kormos, if you remember him from Welland, an NDP in Welland. He was the MPP for years and had the respect and ears of every party, regardless of the affiliation. He was that well respected. He knew, but Wayne does know the players after so many years as MPP. On the other hand, Ran with the newest thing, I just call her Ran, RAN, just because I don't feel like saying the whole name all the time. I tend to give them nicknames if I don't do that. So at least this is an acronym. I think that's what you call it, 3-letter acronym. Um, she'd be able to sit with the ruling party if Doug Ford indeed wins. And it's always best to have an MPP that is with the ruling party. And I've never denied that. I've always said that, like when Niagara Falls is going to vote in uh, an MPP that is with the ruling party, because I think that's very important. Um, and that's regardless of her experience and competence. She has no experience and she's not competent. So that's really your choice. Those two are the parties. I don't think we're going to see the Liberal candidate, and I'm going to talk about her today, even being in the equation, nor the Green or the New Blue, or unfortunately the Independent. I mean, Jody's a great guy. He knows a lot. He's probably the smartest of the bunch of them, I'd say. But the problem with Jody is that being an independent, he doesn't have the funds, nor does he have the familiarity with the people from Fort Erie to Niagara Lake to be able to win a contest like this. Unfortunately, if people got to know him, they know he's probably the most competent of the candidates. Unfortunately, they don't know who he is, and he doesn't have a lot of money to get his name out there to market himself. So it's going to be a tough goal for Jody. It's going to be a very tough goal for Jody. So that's kind of what we have here going on, right? And that's the battle that's on the internet all the time. And the only thing that anybody can say for Ruth Ann is that she's PC, and she's not PC. She's a Chino. I call her a Chino, conservative in name only, because conservatives don't raise taxes. Her first 2 years at council, she raised taxes 3 times. That's right, 3 budgets have come up in the 2 years she's been there, 2 years, 3 months. And she's voted to raise taxes 3 times. That doesn't sound conservative to me. I never came up with a great idea to cut taxes. To be honest with you, voted in favor of every harebrained scheme these guys come up with, like concrete ping pong tables. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But yeah, and the condescending only 8 comment on her first term. It's only $8 a month in the middle of a major economic crisis from COVID. People are broke. They lost their jobs, and that only $8 a month is very, very rude. You ask me. When people are suffering and they're losing their houses and there's more homeless and everything else, only $8 a month could be the difference between paying their mortgage and not paying it, or have enough money to buy groceries at 30%, 40% increases we saw. So yeah, so that's your choice. And I'm gonna have to say, if you got to choose between them two, the no-brainer is to win it is Gates. And I'm not saying I'm gonna vote that way. I still haven't decided, to be honest with you. But I know one thing: I'm not voting PC. I can't. I cannot. I cannot hold my nose and vote for an acclaimed candidate, appointed candidate that really has shown her performance on city council being very dismal. I can't vote NDP. I don't care about Wayne Gates or not a nice guy and that he's done nothing. I can't vote for him. I'm definitely not going to vote for Shafoli Kapoor. Now, I'm going to talk about her today because I talked about Ruth Ann and I talked about Gates. And this isn't going to be a real long conversation. I tell you that right now. Excuse me. I get in this studio, man, and it's dry. You got the hums. Okay, so what about her? Shaf- Shafoli Kapoor. Well, I don't have a flyer. Remember, I brought out the flyer for Wayne Gates and held it up, and Ruth Ann Newstig and held it up. Well, I couldn't find one for her. I don't know. They're probably out there. I couldn't find one. I couldn't see one. So I can't go by that. And because she was parachuted in from parts unknown, I go to her website and it doesn't say where she's from, but says she lives in Ontario. And that's good enough. That's what she said. I live in Ontario. That's good enough. But I suspect that since she owns a business in Toronto, she probably lives in Toronto. That would make the most sense, right? Huh? What about you out there? Does that make the most sense to you? Sure, it does. She wants to make things change and will move to Niagara if elected. Sure, Bruce. Her business is in Toronto. She's going to move to Niagara. She gets elected. You will never see her buy a place here. Now, why is she parachuted in? Because they couldn't find anybody here. They said they had somebody, but they couldn't get time off work to campaign. Oh, how do you reconcile that one? You're running for MPP, and you can't get time off work to run an election. Okay, so what do? They can't find anybody, so they parachute Shafoli Kapoor in. So what do we have here? Here's some of her highlights. Immigrated to Canada 17 years ago. No political experience. Degree in electrical engineering. Started a business in 2017 to help bring immigrants to Canada. Believes in DEI and in the debate with Gates, complained loudly how racism still abounds in Ontario and Niagara Falls against certain communities. That's right, against certain communities. I don't know. You guys out there in video land, you'd like to hesitate to guess in radio land? Certain communities. She never said which communities. She just said certain communities. So you have to go there in dream world, in your imagination, and try to figure out what communities. In a debate with Gates, she mostly complained about racism and anti-immigrant sentiment in the Falls in the province of Ontario. Basically, she had no real opinion on anything. She ran the gamut of Bonnie Crombie liberal platforms without any really of her own opinions or really saying anything she's going to do for Niagara. And since she's not really from this area, has no clue what we're all about other than we are racist and anti-immigration, I guess you don't have any views. But if you don't live here and don't do anything here, I mean, yeah, I would say that probably that would be normal. That's what I'd say. Seriously, not a viable candidate in this election. And other for diehard liberals that don't want to vote for Gates or Rand, really a non-entity. I really cannot say any more about a candidate that has never lived here. It was dropped in because the person they wanted couldn't get time off work to run a campaign. So they sent Kapoor down here. I remember the Liberals are the party that asked Mike Schreiner from the Green Party to jump over to the Liberals because they couldn't find a leader. He told them to buzz off, and then they finally found Bonnie Crombie, who said, "Oh well, I'll give it a shot." And yeah, not viable candidate. I don't even take her considered. I don't even take her seriously. I don't know. She's gonna get 1,000 votes, maybe. I don't know. Maybe diehard liberals or some people who just don't like Doug Ford will vote for her, and they don't like Gates, they'll vote for her. She's the third party, I guess. And that's that. That's all I can see. So next up will be tomorrow. Green Party Celia Taylor. She's a running candidate for the Green Party, and I apologize. I don't have more information for Shafoli Kapoor. Shafoli Kapoor. There's just nothing out there. It's kind of like Ruth Ann. There's nothing out there. The only reason I know anything about her is from her performance on city council. Other than that, I wouldn't be able to comment. She just hands out a flyer. She won't do any debates. She won't do anything like that. At least Shafoli Kapoor was in the debate with Wayne Gates. I mean, she has no knowledge of this area or nothing, and she goes to the debate and discusses things. So there you go. Speaking of debates, what about the debate last night? Did you guys watch the debate last night? Oh, it was a snooze fest. I don't know if anybody even made it through this. I didn't. I don't know. These guys, everybody's jumping on Ford, of course. He's the guy they got to beat. So it's a free for all against him. And of course, they tell you all the great things they're going to do for Ontario, which once they get elected, they never do anyway. Laughed at Ford's big plans for doubling the Skyway and new roads in Niagara and everything else. But really, they told us how hard they worked, though. I mean, really, they said, we worked hard. Oh, we worked hard. We were kids coming up. But Ford was privileged. It was privileged growing up. So it was kind of a goofy debate. I mean, it was, I don't know. Why even bother? Just vote for who you want. There's nobody in this election that's a game changer. Let me put it that way. There's nobody who's going to step up and just start doing what should be done. And we're seeing what's going on in the United States with Trump. That's what we need in Canada. Somebody to step up to the plate and really go to town. A premier like Ron DeSantis is in Florida as governor. That's what we really need. We really, really need somebody who's going to take this and do the things they should do to make Canada, well, Ontario anyway, better and in line. Maybe we'll get somebody in federally that'll do good for Canada too. But none of these guys seem to be any of it. Ford's battling his green belt or scandal, and everybody's promising health care and all that. We've heard that a million times, and we're no better off than we were when Ford started, or we weren't better off with what's her name there, a goofball win before Ford. So really, it was just Ford bad, we good, and all the promises. It was interesting when I saw they spend their weekends off. I never knew politicians got weekends off. I didn't know it was 5 days a week. I thought they actually sometimes had to work like on weekends. That's what they're elected to do, no? But apparently they get weekends off. So Doug Ford said he goes up to his Muskoka cottage where he cuts the lawn. He's up there 5 hours last year. That's it. He counted them. Come on, Doug. He don't cut the grass up there. They got a service that does it. Come on, get serious. We know that. We know you don't go up there, and you were there 5 hours this year cutting the grass. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's laughing about it. I work weekends, he said, returning calls and taking care of Ontario business. So, well, that's good if he does. I mean, that's what I would expect him to do. But apparently they get weekends off. Schreiner says he spends some time with family in nature. Well, that's nice. He goes walking around in the forest. I don't know. Grammy says she plans to go rock climbing in Thunder Bay, then play pickleball. So if she's elected, here's what's going to happen. Every weekend, she's going to jump on the Ontario jet and use our tax money to go up to Thunder Bay and do rock climbing. That sounds like a tax and spend situation to me. That's usually how it works. And the ones that like climate control are flying around in private jets more than they should be. So yeah, okay, I get it. Makes sense to me. Style says she likes swimming in Ontario lakes. For like 1 month a year? That's what you do 4 weekends a year, swim around in Ontario lakes? Like, it's too cold to swim around in anything but July. Like, where are you going to swim? So I don't know what that's all about. Interesting weekend activity. And the rest was about gridlock and GO train service and highways, especially in the GTA and Niagara areas. Now you can watch the whole debate on YouTube. It's there. Take a no dose before you watch it, because at the end of the day, the whole thing is a sham. We have a guy with a 16-month majority government calling a $200 million election. That's your money. Who already has a majority mandate. His excuse: Trump. Trump's putting tariffs on us, and Dougie's got to protect us from evil. Evil, orange man, bad, Cheeto man, southern psychopath. Doug's going to protect us. That's why he needs a mandate for 4 more years. 16 months isn't enough. What happens if on month 17, after we throw him out, because that could happen in 16 months, if Trump decides to put the tariffs on when he's gone? Oh, man, these guys kill me. Trump. It's snowing out. Trump. Airplane crash. Trump. Trump fired all the air traffic controllers. I love these people with TDS. So anyway, that's why he wants another mandate for 4 years to battle the evil man, the evil one. Oh boy, oh boy. These guys all have a bogeyman, don't they? They all have that bogeyman, the boogeyman. Ooh, he's gonna put tariffs on everybody. Total waste of taxpayer dollars. Unfortunately, what we have to decide in 9 days: do we vote for the devil we know, Doug Ford, or one of the devils that we don't know? And in Niagara Falls riding, we have an even bigger problem. And that bigger problem is that we have no qualified candidates other than an independent, maybe. But here's the saving grace. Help is on its way. The saving grace of here is it doesn't matter who you vote for. If you're going to pull a vote away from somebody to vote for somebody else or whatever, it doesn't really matter around here, because the guy who runs the show with Ford is Mayor Jim Diodati. We're in a situation where it don't matter who we vote for. Vote for Gates, he gets in. Doesn't matter. Jim Diodati is the guy. Vote for Newstakes, you don't know what she's doing. Vote for Diodati. He's gonna do it anyway. Diodati. Everything we got around here usually comes from Diodati. And he was called the real MPP by Doug Ford of Niagara. And believe me, even if they get wins the election, which she's probably not, I can almost guarantee it. It'll be Diodati running the show anyway. He's the connection. He's the important guy. So it doesn't matter. We have the worst scenario possible, but the best scenario with Jim Diodati being mayor. We have a do-nothing incumbent, an incompetent appointed PC candidate, a parachuted in T-Dotter who knows nothing about Niagara Falls, a fringe party candidate, green candidate I've never heard of, a new blue candidate I don't know anything about, and finally an independent that is capable but doesn't have a funding or familiarity with this. So take your pick. Take your pick, but feel good that it don't matter. It doesn't matter. We're unique. We're unique. We're unique in the area. We don't have to worry about how good or bad the performance of our local representative is. We could have no representative, and we're going to get everything we got coming to us. We're already down here talking to Diodati about Niagara District Airport and GO train service and doubling up on tourism. I mean, that's already in the works. Stan Cho was down here already. Don't worry about it. It's all going to happen. As long as we got Diodati somewhere, he's still breathing, he can do it. Capiche? That's the bottom line. So take your pick of what's out there. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. For somebody not indebted to any other party or anything, who doesn't want to vote like that, they want to get some party and they have something. or somebody who doesn't know what they want totally. Well, you got an independent, Jody Burdett, not tied to any party, isn't affiliated, doesn't know any party anything. So he's the guy who was out there for everybody who doesn't feel like holding their nose to vote for a candidate, or doesn't like a candidate, or is not affiliated with any party. There is a guy out there you can run your vote to. And other than that, doesn't matter. So I got to get to my sponsors. I forgot about my sponsors. Wild Bill's Auto. I was so excited about being in the studio again. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamel Machine Company. So let's start with Wild Bill's. Look at this beautiful sunny day. But it's not over. We're going to get bad temperatures, cold temperatures for the next 2 weeks. And that means we're not going to see the snow disappear. And that means the roads are going to be crappy. It's just the way it is around here this time of year, as we're waiting for summer on March 1st. That's my summer, March 1st. So while you're waiting, take your car in to Wild Bill's Auto Repair Body Shop. Get them to check everything out. Make sure your systems are working. Your car doesn't let you down in the bad weather. He's going to put your car on his diagnostic equipment. If there's any error codes, they're going to pop up. He's going to fix them for you. He's going to make sure your brakes are good. All your fluids are up. Your suspension is good. In this weather, your suspension gets hammered. He's going to make sure everything's all right. And at the end of the day, you're going to be traveling down the road without worry. You're proactive, not reactive. That's what you want to be in this kind of weather in the winter. And in another couple of months, you'll be taking it in for the summer checkup to make sure everything's working for the summer. But for now, get it over to Wild Bill's. Ken's going to check out your car. And if you get a fender bender in this kind of crappy weather here, people are sliding all over the place. The roads are terrible. Don't worry about it. He's got a full body shop there. He'll get your car in, fix it, send it back to you in showroom condition. You can't beat it. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, by the Kia dealership. Check it out and tell Ken that Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. WildBillsAuto.ca. Go to the website, check it out, give him a call. Come on, be proactive, not reactive. And while we're at it, give our video a like. Come on, hit that subscribe button. I know there's 100 and some subscribers, but there's probably more viewers and they're not subscribing. Subscribe. Come on, it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing. And it spreads the show around. The more subscribers you have, the more people get to watch it because it pops up in their feeds. It's the algorithm that YouTube uses. So like it, subscribe, leave a comment. I always talk about comments, like I did this one today about the speed cameras. Come on, let's discuss it. If I don't know the answer, I get them. I get the answer and report back. I have my contacts that I can use. So let's see what you have to say. Come on, comment. Okay, what about this plane crash at Pearson? Now, this was crazy. I was sitting there yesterday afternoon, and a message popped up on my phone about a plane crash at Pearson. So I flipped it over, and I had a guy I watch on Agenda Free TV. His name's Steve Lookner, and he's always on top of these kind of things. The bigger news stations sometimes don't get to this right away, but he gets right to it, and he stays on it. So I always watch him. And so I watched this thing, and I'm going, holy crap. I mean, I'm sitting there in the afternoon, and it was pretty much a whiteout in front of my house. The winds were howling, and the snow was being blown all over the place. So I'm going, oh, man, I mean, this wind, they must have ran into this wind, and it's affected them somehow. So, I mean, not only this one, there's a lot of plane crashes lately. Man, oh, man, I'll tell you. Check your insurance if you're getting on an airplane. Who knows anymore? If you're a nervous Nelly, you step into these flying buses. Yeah, I don't think your nerves are going to be too calm if you're going anywhere. It's just pretty crazy right now. But still, having said that, everybody survived this crash at Pearson, and there's 18 injured. I think 2 or 3 critically, but they're going to live. So, it's still the safest way to travel. But this was a weird one. Around 2 o'clock, a Delta Airlines CRJ 900 Bombardier plane, about 16 years old, was coming in from Minneapolis, ready to land, then flipped over and crashed when it was landing. So basically, on touchdown, it kind of skidded, and the wing touched and broke off, and then it rolled where the wing broke off. And that was on the right-hand side of the plane. So when I saw the video, I go, oh boy. And I was listening to some expert talking about it. And he said with the numbers, the plane was traveling a little bit slow, about 120 knots coming in. He should have been going a little bit faster. And it was dropping pretty quick at a quick descent rate. And it looks like to me that was probably true what that guy said, because it came down and it hit hard. And it looked to me like either the landing gear broke off, or the pilot had tried to correct and the wing hit and broke off, and then it flipped, it rolled. But there was a really hard wind blowing. They said around 30 miles an hour, 33 miles an hour or something. I heard it was a little bit higher than that. But, there are these things called microbursts. And out of nowhere, a plane, when it's coming in, can be hit with a microburst. And it feels just like somebody putting their hand on the plane and pushing it down. And when you're only a couple 100 feet or 100 feet off the runway, that's a pretty serious event. So, well, from what I saw, it looks like all of a sudden it just bang, hit the runway, which could have been some kind of a microburst wind, and then it flipped over. So I don't know. I could see how it could happen. With heavy winds. I mean, that's the way it goes. Now, there were reports about tremendous crosswinds. So sometimes in a crosswind, you got to kind of work the plane against the wind. And if a microburst hit it, would just kind of flip it like that. Like kind of like this, flip it, and then bang, it breaks off the wing, and then it just rolls over. So, yeah, interesting thing, but thank goodness nobody was hurt. And I just can't even imagine being inside that plane. Think about it. You're hanging upside down in the plane with a seatbelt holding you in the seat. So you're going to have to kind of reach up and brace yourself against the overhead compartment. That's now above you, but upside down. And you're going to have to somehow let yourself down out of the seat when you undo that seatbelt. I don't know. Some people don't do up their seatbelt, right? Or they have it loose, or they don't have it done up at all. There's always people going around telling them to do up their seatbelt. But yeah, I mean, if you undid it, you just fall right to the floor. So you got to be braced. You have to put your hands up, I guess, and let yourself down. I don't know. That must have been like crazy. But they all got out. I mean, it's lucky everyone survived. A couple people got injured, but nothing like non-life-threatening injury, man. God was on their side that day. The airport was shut down immediately with planes diverted to Hamilton and Montreal, but the airport's now back in service. So yeah, pretty wild scene at Toronto there. I think they're just going to attribute it to weather. Everything was going perfect. They came in, they looked like a normal landing. Regardless of speed or rate descent, they had the ILS, which is a beacon that pulls them in, takes them right in on the right flight path with the right speed and everything. So, and everything was clear. I mean, there's no reason for them to crash other than something dramatic happened 100 feet off the runway or whatever, pushed them right down onto it. So, anyway, thank goodness not everybody was killed, or there was no big fire that burned everybody. It was a little fire, but it was pretty good because they were skidding on the runway, but they skidded into snow, which would mean there's no fire. And of course, on landing, when they fuel up a jet, they put enough fuel for the flight and maybe a little bit, few more pounds, so that they can take into account if they have to do a turnaround or something like that. And so there wasn't a lot of fuel on board to burn either. Okay, let's go back to this debate last night. The one thing they were talking about is a doctor shortage in Ontario. And I think we all know there is a doctor shortage. There's a lot of people who can't get a doctor. Let's face it. I mean, come on. Everybody I talk to, do you know a doctor? Do you have a doctor? I've recommended a few of my friends to my doctor, but he's not taking patients anymore. So that's the end of him taking anybody else. And they're not hiring enough new doctors. They offer $50,000 to any doctor that'll move to Niagara Falls, help them out. Welland's offering 100,000. I think they might have upped the ante at the last meeting. I can't remember if they did or not. They were going to make more money available to attract doctors, but I still like what they're doing in Aurelia. And this is something John Ringo Beam, mayor of West Chippewa, said many months ago on my show about hiring doctors. He said, you can't find them. Why don't the city just hire them? And that's exactly what Aurelia is doing. And I talked about this on my show a few weeks ago, I think. And basically, we're 36 doctors short, looking for doctors. We hired 2 last year. Probably not going to hire much more. Welland's doing a better job. They hired 10, but we're still really short in this region. Hundreds of doctors short. So I like what Aurelia's doing. What Aurelia's doing is forget about the 50,000 or 100,000 they're giving these people to set up their practice there, guaranteed for 5 years. What Aurelia's doing is they are making a clinic, and they are putting everything in the clinic a doctor needs. Offices, they're putting in waiting rooms, they're putting in the tables, every supply a doctor can need. So basically, what a doctor does is just walk in, and they're automatically set up to run their business. And the city even runs the business for them. They do everything. They set it all up, and then they pay the doctor a salary. I don't know what the salary is. It's probably an average of what the doctors make here already. Just a regular GP. I mean, if you're a surgeon or something, you make more, but yeah, so what they do is they say, hey, come on to Niagara Falls. We got an office waiting for you. It's all set up, right? Just hire an assistant, a nurse up front, an assistant, or whatever you need to hire. And we'll get that for you and set you all up and pay you a salary. And then you bill OHIP. Any money you get from OHIP goes to us. And that helps us pay for the building and pay for your assistants and the capital costs of the equipment. So basically, the biggest problem most doctors have is they're not businessmen. They're good at treating people. They know their doctrine. They know their work. But what they don't want to have to deal with is running their own business. So this is perfect. So we take, say, a building like the Wayne Thompson building over here, and we turn it into a clinic. We put a dozen doctors or 20 doctors in there, how many offices you can fit in there, and set it all up. So when that doctor signs on to the contract, make it a 5-year contract or whatever, they're automatically getting a weekly income or bi-weekly or whatever they pay them. And they're signing up patients, and they don't have to worry about the business end of it. The city has people in there to take care of that. It's better than taking $500,000 or $1 million from taxpayers. So there's initial cost, of course, but you're going to recover it from the fees that the doctors charge to OHIP that we get. And away we go. And the biggest draw for the doctors is, hey, listen, I don't have to set up a business practice. I don't have to incorporate. I don't have to have anything. All I have to do is just go and do what I do best, and that's treat people. So imagine getting that out of the way for these guys coming out of med school. They don't have to invest a dime, and they got an office, and they got built-in clients because everybody needs a doctor in town. I mean, you're going to have clients right away, and eventually we'll cut this shortage right out. Now, the doctors, after their contract is up, if they want to go hang their own shingle, that's fine. But a lot of them might stay only because at the end of the day, um, it's just a great deal. And, any city employees that don't have doctors, now they got a doctor, so, the benefits in that. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think Aurelia's giving it a shot and they're going to see what happens. And I'd really, really like to see some city councilor grab this bull by the horns and make a motion to look into it. I'm not saying we have to do it. We could talk to Aurelia, see what they're up to and how they're making out with it. Find some other people who are doing this, some other cities that might be doing this. At least make a motion to look into it because I think it's a tremendous idea and it's a real nice short-term fix and probably a long-term fix to the doctor problem here. I mean, we're trying to throw money at it, but it still doesn't alleviate the problems that a brand new doctor has of starting a business, getting into the business. They're not savvy. We have people who can do this, or if we don't, we can hire some people who can do this. And the doctor doesn't have to do anything. He just comes in and starts treating people. There's a receptionist. They're making appointments for them. They're getting new clients in. I mean, it'd just be perfect. And, I wish I could take credit for this great idea, but no, it's John Ringo Beam said about it. And then I said about it a long time ago. And then I read about it out of Aurelia. So what about it? Hey, we can bundle stuff up for them. Throw in a new Mercedes and a membership at a local golf course. How about that? We'll bundle it up to compete with everybody else. But no, I love this idea. I think it's great. We have buildings in the city that are not being used that we could definitely fix up for doctors' offices. I mean, downtown here, great. We got lots of empty buildings down here we could use. And the city, I'm sure, owns lots of empty buildings or has property, and they could build. They want to get into real estate, partner up with somebody, partner up with a developer, build a big medical center, hire the doctors, pay them, rent the space off the developers, which we're partners with anyway. That's what they want to do across the street. Why not for a medical clinic? Come on, there's all kinds of opportunities out there. Let's go. Where's Jason Burgess? Where's the penguin? Talk to the penguin. Come on, somebody out there listening. Somebody out there listening. So what about my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza? Pete's Pizza. And I have to say it so slow because somebody said when I say it fast, it comes up on the closed captioning on the video. Pizza. But it's not pizza. It's Pete's Pizza. On Victoria Avenue. That's the one. You got to go and get a pizza there. They have tremendous pizza. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now. You grab a pizza from there, it's going to be done right. They use the Mancini family recipe for the crust and for the sauce. Mike, the owner, knows how to blend the Saputo mozzarella with the brick cheese to give that cheese that perfect stretch and flavor. He mixes it at just the right ratios on the pizza, throws a little cornmeal on that beautiful Mancini crust, cooks it perfect, and you got a phenomenal pizza. My favorite's the Canadian pepperoni, crumbled bacon, and mushrooms. Beautiful, beautiful pizza. Great taste. I love it. Cooks it just right. And now they have trays on. $20 for a tray. How can you beat $20 for a tray of pizza? But don't cut Pete's Pizza off there. They have phenomenal wings, steak and cheese poutine, steaks, subs. Oh my goodness, they have all kinds of poutine. They have so much. They have a menu that folds out this big with all stuff on it. You can get anything you like. They're open until 2 in the morning on Friday and Saturday for your convenience. Pete's Pizza, Victoria Avenue. What more do you want? Give it a shot. 905-374-2222 or go to petespizzavictoria.ca and you can order online, and they use all the different services. Skip, dunk, hump, what's it, dash, run, jump. Yeah, they got it all. They use them all. Get your pizza. What are you waiting for? And thank you for supporting our sponsors because they support us and they support the city. Thank you to Pete's Pizza for being one of our sponsors. I appreciate it. Okay, well, I'm happy to see PP, Pierre Polivier, sticking to his party platform of Axe the Tax and staying to the right. And I talked about this the other day. We don't need him moving to the middle. That's my biggest fear. If he was sitting here right now, that's the first question I'd ask him. Pierre, you're not an O'Toole. You're not a Scheer. Are you sticking to the right? Or are you going to move to the middle like these guys did and lose? That's my one question. We've seen so many of these guys talk a big game, but then when the polls come in, they start moving to the center. And then before you know it, they're Trudeau light. Well, we don't need that. And we surely don't want Carney. So come on, PP. Stay to your guns. Stick to your guns. We got to get rid of the waste and expenditures that the Liberals laid on us for the last 10 years. They just sucked our wallets dry. They did nothing for us. And you got to start eliminating that carbon tax right away. First thing you do, sign an executive order. If they have them in Canada, I don't know what you have to sign. Carbon tax gone. Paris Accord out. No more giving money away to other countries. No, Canada first. Get those giveaways got to end. Axe the tax, and not just the carbon tax. We got to axe a lot of taxes. We got to clean house. We also need to straighten out our borders and deport those in the country illegally. Right now, there's 1.3 to 1.5 million. They got to go. They're all here on false pretenses. Their visas have run out. They said they were going to go to school here. 50,000 of them never showed up for class the first day. They're using our country. They're using our services. They're creating problems. We gotta get them out of here if they're not here legally. They're here legally. Welcome. We appreciate you wanting to come to Canada, and thank you for going through the proper channels. That's the way it should be done. But the illegals, they got to go. Misrepresentation, expired visas. I don't care. Palestinian refugees that can go home now. They can go home. No reason for them to be here. The war's over. Now you go home and you help rebuild your thing. Hey, there's a Black Hawk helicopter going right there. How about that? That's the Canadian Black Hawk looking at the border. Yes, sirree, Bob. They're running the border, these Black Hawks. There you go. Just as I'm talking about PP, here comes the big Black Hawk helicopter riding the river, looking for illegals, flying it around, I'd say, maybe not even, maybe 1,000 feet, maybe. If I get in my phone, I'd look at it. Yeah, they're looking for something here. Hey, look at it. Maybe it's Pierre Oliver. He's coming right over the studio. Look at him here. He's circling around right on Park Street, making a circle along the river, and he saw something, and now he's headed down river towards the whirlpool. Yeah, Black Hawk, Army Black Hawk. Hey, they're here. Trudeau said they were getting them and putting them in service. There they are. They're checking out the bridge. Oh, I know what they were checking out. They were checking out the railway bridge. That's what they were checking out, the old railway bridge here that goes over the Niagara River to Niagara Falls, New York. See if there's anybody on the bridge monkeying around. Yeah, they did a fly right around the bridge, came right around it, down Queen Street, and then headed down the river. Ha ha! Hey, Trump, the Trump effect. The Trump effect. Live and in person in front of the studio today. So anyway, yeah, you got to stick to your guns, and that's it. No fooling around. No fooling around. We learned our lesson from the South. What's going on in the South? All the waste. I mean, last year, our federal government, spent $100 million on hotel rooms in Niagara Falls for 5,000 refugees. Yeah, your tax dollars at work. As well, once we ship these illegals out in that, then we're gonna free up housing. Could help with the homeless situation. We're gonna free up resources like clinics and hospitals, and we're gonna move to a Canada First situation. And if he sticks to his conservative values and takes care of business, I don't think he can lose. And if you need guidance, look south. Look south. Things are happening there. Things are being done right. And I know a lot of Canadians hate the orange man bad and we don't want Trump and blah, blah, blah. Guess what? In 3-4 weeks, he's done more than in 4 years by the former administration. He's cutting. And oh yeah, he's doing it right. It's just starting. It's just starting. You haven't seen anything yet. He's doing it right. Getting rid of waste, cutting trillions of dollars when it's all said and done. And the Democrats say Elon Musk, he doesn't have security clearance to be. Hey, the guy's working with NASA, sending rockets to the moon. When they can't get their astronauts back, they pick up the phone. Elon, could you send a rocket up to get our guys? We can't get them back. You think this guy doesn't have security clearance at the highest level? Oh my God! Everybody's got your information. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about Musk taking your money. He's got $500 billion. You think he cares about your $100 in the bank? Come on, give me a break. Okay, so speaking of illegal immigrants, the head of FEMA in the U.S. has been fired by Trump for illegal using FEMA funds to house illegal immigrants in New York City luxury hotels in defiance of Trump's order to stop it. So, if you remember the victims of Hurricane Helen in western North Carolina and the victims of the fires in California received no help from FEMA because they spent all the money on illegals in New York City on expensive luxury hotels. All FEMA could muster for the near North Carolina residents was a one-time payment of $750. The people lost everything. And that was when? Last September? August, September? $750. They're living in tents there. And they're giving money to FEMA for immigrants in luxury hotels in New York City. They were told to cease and desist by Trump. They kept it up. And now heads are going to roll as DOGE sorts out these departments, USAID, Department of Defense, Pentagon, NASA, IRS, you name it. The DOGE is going to head in and heads are going to roll. Imagine the left-wing lunatics being mad at Musk and DOGE for going in and saving taxpayers what's going to amount to trillions of dollars. They're not angry at the people who stole the money. They're not angry at the people who misappropriated the money and wasted taxpayer dollars. It's pure theft. They're not mad at them. They're mad at Trump and Musk. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. This is how cuckoo these people are. They're whacked. Thank you, President Trump. And now Pierre Poilievre, you do the same thing. Come on, let's go. They're already having DOGE type of meetings in Canada. These guys are coming up with all kinds of crap the Trudeau government is blowing their money on. And it's all going to come out. It's all coming out. And we're going to find in Canada, it's no better. At a small rate, because we don't have as many people or as much money. But it's all there. And it's going to be discovered. Heads are going to roll. And there's going to be a lot of people indicted in this. And they're already coming up with these numbers for, spending $20 million to see the sex habit of tsetse flies. Yeah. You can't believe what they're spending your money on. Wait till you find out. It's going to come to fruition. Even in Canada, it's going to happen. Trump's setting a good example for the rest of the world. Okay, our third sponsor, Hamel Machine Company. And, I talk about Hamel Machine Company and the things that they do. They've been around since 1948. And if you have any little part you need machined, you need something that's custom made, you need a part that has to be made with, made with a 3D printer or whatever. Well, they're still looking up. They're looking up. That chopper must still be here, that Blackhawk. But anyway, you need anything made, Hamel Machine can do it. They can do it. They've been doing it since 1948. From big industry to small home needs, even, the city gets a lot done. They can do it. They can do it. That's what they do every day. Custom made gates for your backyard, they can do it. Have a big industrial project you need done, they can do it. You have custom-made parts you need made because you can't find them. They can make them. You break something, they can fix it. They can weld it, and they can fix it. That's what Hamel Machine Company does. They've been doing it in the city for a long, long time. And it's an amazing story. Go to their website, hamelmachine.ca or .com. Hamelmachine.com, I think it is, or CA. Can't remember. Let me see if I got it written down here. I usually write stuff down. No, I didn't. But they do everything. Water jet cutting, 3D printing, you name it, they do it. Hamelmachine.ca or .com. Go check them out. You'll blow your mind. It's probably .com. It'll blow your mind the work they do for the industry around here. Small and big industry they take care of. In the city, in the region, everybody goes to Hamel Machine Company to get their stuff done. Innovators, inventors, they make custom designed equipment. They're fantastic. Go check them out. If you need something fixed, Hamel Machine Shop, your snowboard blows up, hey, back to Hamel. They'll be able to fix your rotors or your blades or put pins in, weld something up if you break it. It doesn't matter. They can do it. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you, and support our sponsors because they support the show. Thank you so much to Hamel Machine. Okay, now the lines are drawn for hockey supremacy. And it's going to all unfold on Thursday night in Boston, Massachusetts, as the USA takes on the 51st state for hockey supremacy. And we're going to see what's going to happen. The much-touted Canadian team, led by Sidney Crosby of Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia fame, and the U.S. team led by their goaltender, Connor Hellebuck, they're going to be battling it out for hockey supremacy, and I can't wait. Some highlights? Fights before the game. Oh, yeah, they like to fight before the game starts. Loud booing of the Canadian national anthem by Bruins fans. Oh, yeah, they never booed them the other night because they were playing Finland or somebody. Who cares? But when the USA steps on the ice, there's going to be retribution for them booing the Canadian national anthem or the U.S. national anthem when they were in Montreal. Now, Hellebuck's going to stand on his head, of course. He always does. Crosby's going to score an important goal. He always does. Return of the Tkachuk brothers. They're not going to miss this one. And Hellebuck scoring the winning goal into the empty Canadian net in overtime. No, it won't be in overtime. In regulation time, when Canada pulls the goalie to get that last goal, Hellebuck's going to shoot it down right into the Canadian net and seal the win for the USA. And USA winning is going to disappoint all Canadians, and the Canadian PM, what he's going to do is go right to center ice and sign over Canada as the 51st state after the loss. No, you don't agree with me? Okay, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Seriously, who cares? Habs play Ottawa on Saturday night. That's the one I'm waiting for when the NHL starts up. To me, this is junk. People are getting injured. Both Tkachuk brothers are injured now. Who knows if they're going to play Thursday? I think Chopper told me that McElroy from the Bruins is hurt. He got hurt. I think it was McElroy. He got hurt. One of those guys for the Bruins, the defenseman. So he might be out. And I mean, these are main players for the teams. This 4-game series means nothing. Absolutely nothing. And they're going to lose great players leading up to the playoffs, to the Stanley Cup, because of this worthless series. Come on. Should have never had it. I never agreed with it in the first place. Anyway, ladies and germs, that's it. That's it. You have to wait till Thursday night to see if Hellebuck scores a goal into the empty Canadian net. I'd like to see that. I don't think it's going to happen. But it should be a great game. Anyway, I haven't watched any of the games, to be honest with you. I saw the opening fights for the Canadian hockey, and then I turned it off and I watched the last couple minutes of it. And that was it. If it ain't Habs, it ain't. I don't care. So what's up? So tomorrow's Habsolutely, speaking of the Habs, and we're going to be talking about, we'll probably be talking about these games I know nothing about. So my co-host, John Fillion, will have to carry me there. Talk a little bit about the Habs, They're always talking about the Habs. All show, a little trivia, a little news, a little rumors. A little bit about this, a little bit about that, and then predict what's going to happen in next week's games because we get back to the NHL. Thursday is Straight Talk Thursday. I'll go into a little bit more of the stuff that's going on in the world and what's going on with this election in a week. It's only, what, 27th? What's that, 9 days away? 8 days away now. And see what's going on with that. And then we'll get to finally Friday and the weekend, and away we go. It's supposed to snow again on Thursday. You know, every Thursday I've been doing the show from the Video Sign Incorporated studio because it's been a nightmare out here. Once a week, every Thursday. But you know what? March 1st is coming fast. To me, that's the end of winter, the beginning of summer. So I can't wait for March 1st. That's my take on it. My name is Paul Killamere. This is Your City, Your Voice, coming to you live from the studios of 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, right across from the meteor crater. Ooh, I never thought maybe that Black Hawk helicopter was looking at the meteor crater. Never considered that. Anyway, take care, everybody. God bless. Have a great day. Don't forget our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Hamilton. Hamel Machine Company in Victoria Avenue, Pete's Pizza. Support our sponsors. They support the show. Subscribe, like, comment. See ya on Thursday with Straight Talk Thursday. If you're a Habs fan, see you tomorrow on Habsolutely. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good day. And don't give me agita, please. I got enough agita. Thank you.